Good afternoon and welcome to John Moyer Complex, where today in this afternoon contest doubleheader between Roanoke Maroons and Guilford College. Your starters for Roanoke: number 1, Caitlin Manuel; 3, Casey Frick; 4, Aaliyah Bear; 5, Stephanie Clark; 6, Leona Rainey; 7, Rhea Schlickler; 8, Megan Weinger; 13, Holly Warleitner; 21, Alexis Roop; and at the mound, Kelly Higby, number 22. For Guilford Quakers, number 00, Brittany Donathan; number 4, Allie Nicholson; 6, Emily Van Hagen; 7, Alex Todd; 8, Casey Sneed; 10, Cynthia Hayes; 11, Sarah Cutright; 12, at the mound for the Quakers, Maggie Schaefer; 17, Rachel Ward; and number 20, Autumn Yoder. We'll be right back with the start of the game after playing in the national anthem. Stay with us. As the Maroons take the field, leading off for Guilford will be number 6, Emily Van Hannigan. Higby at the mound for the Maroons here in the top of the first inning of this doubleheader afternoon. First pitch, swing foul for strike 1. Second pitch, foul just left of the third base line for a quick 0-2 count. Van Hannigan battling there at the plate for another foul tip just behind home plate. As you can hear from the crowd, my fans, the wind is whipping down there and it is very, very cold here. Weather should play a significant issue with players trying to stay warm and loose during this doubleheader. Count now 2-2 to Van Hannigan. Ground ball to the third baseman for the Roanoke, and they will record the first out here in the top of the first inning. Megan Weingar with the ground ball to first baseman Ellie Bear.
Number 10, Cynthia Hayes.
Up now to the plate for the Quakers, Cynthia Hayes. First pitch low and away for ball one. Second pitch, ground ball through the gap, a short and third for a base hit for the Quakers.
Now stepping to the plate, number 4, Allie Nicholson.
Up now for the Quakers, number 4, Allie Nicholson. First pitch, strike to Nicholson. Second pitch just misses the edge of the plate for ball one. Runner going to second. Catcher couldn't keep the hand on the ball to make the throw down, and Cynthia Hayes will be safe at second base for the first stolen base for the Quakers today. Count now at 2-1 for Nicholson. Pitch just high of the zone for ball 3. Foul back to the backstop. For a full count now here with 1 out and 1 runner on second base for the Quakers. And that would be ball 4 just outside. So now 1 out and 2 on here against Kelly Higby and the Maroons, with number 11, Sarah Cut right up to the plate for the Quakers. Folks, we apologize if we have any video interference today. We are filming from inside the press box where the frame of the windows may hinder the view of the play at the moment, but we will try to keep it clear as best as possible. First pitch strike from Higby. Count at 1-1 here for Cut Right. Pop to shallow left field for Cut Right. Will advance runners up base here for a base hit single for Cut Right and the Quakers. It's going to be a ground rule double here for Donathan for the Quakers, bringing in 2 runners to make it a quick 2-0 here in the top of the first inning with 1 out. Runners now on second and third base. Up now, number 17 for the Quakers, Rachel Howard. First pitch catches the outside of the plate for strike 1. 1-1 your count now after the last pitch from Higbee was just out of the strike zone. Ground ball down the third baseline, foul. Count now at 1-2 with 1 out. Runners at second and third. Ball hit to shallow center field. Rainey comes up with the ground ball, and will score 1 for the Quakers as Brittany Donathan for the Quakers has gone down as she advanced to third base. Looks like she has a cramp in her right leg. We will take this injury timeout and be right back with you after the break. Stay with us. Back from the injury timeout here at Moyer Sports Complex. Up to bat now for the Quakers, number 8, Casey Sneed. First pitch hit to the shortstop, who will retire Sneed at first base for out number 2 here in the top of the first inning. Quakers lead 3-0 on the Maroons. And up to the plate now for the Quakers, number 12, Maggie Schaefer.
Now batting, pitcher number 12, Maggie Schaefer.
First pitch, ball outside the zone against Schaefer here. Second pitch, strike High and outside catches the plate for a 1-1 count here with 2 outs. Runners on second and third for the Quakers. Higby deals. Called strike 2. 1-2 the count now. Here against Schaefer. Shaver stays alive, just catching the edge of the ball here as it goes wide and outside the zone to the backstop. Foul tip. Ball inside. 2-2 your count now. 2 outs. Good contact, pop fly to right field as the Maroons will record the third out and in the half inning here in the first. After half, Quakers lead on the Maroons 3-0. We'll take this break and be back with you as the Maroons take to the plate for the bottom of the first inning. Stay with us. Back here at Moyer Sports Complex, as Maroons take to the offensive side of the first inning here in the bottom of the first. Leading off for the Maroons, number 6, Leona Rainey, as number 12, Maggie Schaefer, is at the mound today for the Quakers. First pitch. Rainey shows bunt and gets called for strike 1 as the ball got past her there. Nice afternoon here at Moyer Sports Complex here on Field 3. It's quite chilly and windy outside, but the weather is overall good with partly cloudy skies. 1-1 your count now after the last pitch would just missed the zone. Base hit from Rainey will make it to first off the little chopper here short in the infield. Now batting for the Maroons, playing at first base today, number 4, Leah Bear. First pitch, ball one, as Rainey had a big jump off of first base there, and the pitcher checked her, or excuse me, the catcher checked her after the pitch was thrown. And Rainey is going for a stolen base, and she will take more as the ball gets past number 24, Guilford, Autumn Yoder. So stolen base from Rainey and an advance to third off of an error from the shortstop. Rainey in her last game broke the ODAC record for stolen bases, as we mentioned last night on Tuesday Night Live. 2-0 your count now here for Bear. Base hit for Bear to shallow left field will score Rainey and get her a base hit single. 3-1 your score now here in the bottom of the first inning with no outs, and number 13 up for the Maroons. Holly Warlightner. Excuse me, folks. Catcher checks Bear at first again, trying to keep the Maroons from getting a big jump off of first base here this afternoon. First pitch was a strike to Warlightner. Warlightner showing bunt, and Bear goes to second as the shortstop made the tag but dropped the ball, leaving Bear safe at second with a stolen base. One and one your count now, as catcher jumped up with a purpose there, but just threw the ball back to the pitcher there, as Bear got another big jump off of second. 1-2 your count now to Warliner. No outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Two and two now after that last pitch. Pop fly as the third baseman calls it and comes down with the first out here in the bottom of the first against the Maroons. At the plate now for Roanoke, number 5, Stephanie Clark.
Now step to the plate, this shortstop number 5, Stephanie Clark.
Clark playing at shortstop this afternoon for the Maroons. As Schaefer deals. First pitch swing, foul back to the backstop for strike one. Second big strike catches the outside of the plate for a quick 0-2 count here against Clark. Ball low and outside the zone. Count now 1-1 with one out, as Leah Bear is at second base here for the Maroons. Solid hit to deep center field, and that will be a two-run home run for Stephanie Clark as the Maroons tie it up here in the bottom of the first, 3-3. That ball was gone as soon as it left the bat, and Clark knew it. She immediately started trying into her home run as the center fielder held up just about 6 feet short of the fence after she realized that ball was gone. 3-3 here in the bottom of the first inning with only one out showing for the Maroons. Up to the plate now for the Maroons, number 21, Alexis Roop. First pitch, strike to Roop, straight down the middle of the plate. Roop got beat on that pitch as she got caught swinging for a quick 0-2 count. Pitch just outside the zone for ball one. 1-2 your count now. And Roop is caught swinging for the first strikeout here for Schaefer, as that will be the second out for the Maroons as well here in the bottom of the first inning.
Playing second base, number 1, Caitlin Manuel.
Up now for the Maroons, number 1, Caitlin Manuel. Playing short. First pitch fouled back for strike one. Manuel, the senior from Richmond, Virginia, playing second base for the Maroons today. As she takes the second pitch, she swings, pop fly to right center field, as the Quakers are able to come down with it just in time to retire the inning. So after one inning, folks, tied up here at Moyer Sports Complex, 3-3 after a 2-run home run from number 5, Stephanie Clark, for the Maroons. When we come back, second inning action as the Maroons take the field. Stay with us. Back here at Moyer Complex as the Maroons take the field for the top of the second inning, as number 20 for the Quakers, Autumn Yoder, leads off. Yoder playing shortstop today for the Quakers. First pitch high outside the zone for ball one. Wild pitch got by the catcher there for ball two. 2-0 your count here to Yoder. Maroons come in today with a record of 9-3, being 16th ranked in the nation, as Guilford comes in with 9 wins and only 1 blemish on their season here, with both teams having today their first ODAC action against each other. As Yoder will get ball 4 and advance to first base. Higbee seems a little frustrated at the mound as she's trying to calm down here and get settled in here at game 1 of this 2-game doubleheader for the Maroons and the Quakers. Up now for the Quakers, number 6, Emily Van Hannigan. First pitch swing to Higbee as she throws to first and is beat out by Van Hannigan. Very fast base runner there for the Quakers. So no outs here in the bottom of the, or top of the second inning, with runners on first and second base as number 10 for the Quakers, Cynthia Hayes, takes to the plate. First pitch swing, foul back to the catcher for strike one.
Base number 10, Cynthia Hayes.
Second pitch just misses the outside of the plate for ball one. 1-1 your count here in the top of the second with no outs. Maroons at the corners looking for the bunt, protecting against the bunt, rather, as first base and third base are playing very shallow here in the infield. Ball two there for a count of 2-1 here with 0 outs. Ball hit down the third base line, foul for strike two. Higbee deals. Another swing late here as she fouls it down the third base line. 2 your count still here against Hayes. Hayes comes with a base hit there for the Quakers. But the Maroons come up with a forced out at third base for out number one. Up to bat now for the Quakers, Allie Nicholson. First pitch swing deep to left field, and it is fouled down the third base line. Rhea Schlicker tried to get to that before it hit the ground, but just couldn't get to it as it was a well-hit ball foul. Oh, 1 your count here with 1 out. Second pitch strike low in the zone for a quick 0-2 count. Ball outside the zone for the first ball here against Nicholson. Runners at first and second for the Quakers. As Nicholson gets caught swinging for strike three. It'll be first strikeout on the day for Higbee, as number 11 for Quakers, Sarah Cutright, is at the plate. First pitch just misses the zone for ball one. Again, ball just outside for a 2-0 count here with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Ball high, just misses the zone there for ball number 3. Pitch way outside for ball 4 as Higbee advances runners and loads the bases with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. At the plate now for the Quakers, number 2, Brooks Bray.
Number 2, designated player, Brooks Bray.
Second pitch ball as well to Bray for 2-0. the count here in the top of the second inning. As Higby records the first strike here against Bray. Maroons just trying to end the inning here with no runs against them as they have loaded the bases for a 3-1 count. Now after that pitch, Higby's going to have to pitch right down the zone here to get another strike. Ground ball to second base as she will retire the half inning here with no runs scored as the Quakers leave the bases loaded here in the top of the second inning. When we come back, the Maroons take to the plate and try to get some offensive action going. Stay with us. Back here with you as we start the bottom of the second inning as number 8, Megan Weingard's at the plate for the Maroons lead off here. First pitch fouled off for strike one. Shaver at the mound for the Quakers deals. And beats Weingard inside for a quick 0-2 account here in the bottom of the second. Ball one here as the count now is at 1-2 against Weingard. As the ball is tipped foul for strike two. Or, excuse me, the strike count remains at 2, 1-2 your count. Weingard staying alive here for the Maroons. As a solid ball hit foul down the third base line. Count now 2-2 after the last pitch here against Weingard. Weingard from Boca Raton, Florida, the senior today. as Weingart calls time there to get a better footing in the box and take a few practice swings. Trying to stay warm here at this long at bat. Another ball foul tipped out of zone back towards the press box as it flies over to the other field stands. Weingart battling here in the bottom of the second inning. Another swing pop fly down the first base line as the Quaker right fielder tried to get to that, but it falls foul as Weingart stays alive here.
I'll tell you after I get back after the week, you'll remember.
Getting a reset here as the official collects a few more balls from behind the plate as Weingart has hit most of them foul and out of play here at this at-bat. He had to reload there. Another solid hit from Weingart, foul. That was way over the fence here in left field, but it was foul. That's two now. Weingart has crushed to the left field side here, but both have been fouls. The count now here is still 2-2. Ball high and outside the zone. 3-2 your count now. Full count. Schaefer deals. Ball popped foul out of the zone as Weingart still stays alive. I believe the pitch count now is up almost in the double digits, if not in the double digits here in the bottom of the second. Good offensive stand here by Weingart. As Weingart takes ball 4 and advances to first base. What a battle there by Weingart. Made solid contact to stay in play and not strike out, and then gets ball 4 called to her and gets to first. Up now to the plate for the Maroons, number 3, Casey Frick, playing catcher today for the Maroons. First pitch, inside strike for an 0-1 count here with no outs after that long first at bat by Weingart. Pitch high and high outside in the zone, though, for strike 2 against Frick. 0-2 your count now. Schaefer deals. 4 ball low and outside the zone. As Alex Todd, the catcher for the Quakers, is not letting Weingart get off first at all after the pitch. It's that time. Todd throws down Weingart at first as she gets back safely, though. Frick strikes out there for the first out for the Maroons here in the bottom of the second as number 7 for the Maroons, Rhea Schlickler, up at the plate playing left field today. First pitch strike from Schaefer. That's 2 strikeouts on the day for Schaefer. so far. Ball bunted, foul for strike 2 with 1 out here and a runner at first base for the Maroons. Ball low and away for ball 1 against Schleichler for a 1-2 count here. Ball hit deep to left field as that'll be another home run here for the Maroons. 2-run home run for Schleichler as she gets another RBI on the season as she bats in Weingard. Maroons up now 5-3 here in the bottom of the second inning, as that is the second home run hit off of Schaefer at the mound, both being 2-run home runs. Up now for the Maroons, number 6, Leona Rainey. We're back at the top of the lineup here, as Rainey's playing center field today for the Maroons, a senior out of Sandston, Virginia. Rainey at her last at-bat got on base and stole second and got to third off of an error from the shortstop, which led to a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first inning. First pitch high outside the zone for ball 1. Rainey swings and just catches the edge of the ball for a foul tip. 1-1 your count now here against Rainey. Ball catches the outside of the plate for strike 2. Base hit. Ball hit ground to second for the Quakers as they retire Rainey at first for out number 2 here in the bottom of the second inning, with Leah Bear coming up to the plate for the Maroons with no runners on base. Beer takes the first pitch as she held back for ball 1. Schaefer deals. Ball high and inside for ball number 2. 2-0 your count now here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Third pitch high and outside for 3 balls. No strikes, 2 outs. Beer way ahead in the count here, as she could probably take a few pitches and pick the one she wants to try to make contact with. And there's ball 4 there against Beer as she takes her base at first. Up now for the Maroons, number 13, Holly Warleitner. Warleitner playing at right field today for the Maroons. Warleitner checks her swing, but couldn't pull back fast enough, and the ball fouls off the end of her bat for strike 1. Beer ready at first base to go if she needs to, as the catcher will check Beer at first. Alex Todd for the Quakers isn't comfortable letting any Maroon get any jump off the base here early in game 1. 2-1 your count now after that last pitch. Beer goes to second and slides in and is safe as she beat the throw down to second. Warliner was showing bunt there and pulled off just at the last second for a 3-1 count now here for Warliner. Excuse me, 2-2 as the last pitch was a strike. Sorry for the black screen, folks. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Got the camera back on for you now. As Warliner hits a ball to deep center field, but is robbed of the home run by the Quaker center fielder, and that will retire the side. Here after 2, folks, the Maroons lead 5-3. As when we come back, we'll be starting the top of the 3rd inning. Stay with us. Back here at Moyer Complex as we start the top of the 3rd inning action as your Maroons lead 5-3 after a productive last half inning for the Maroons as another 2-run home run was hit against Schaefer for the Quakers. However, leading off for the Quakers here in the top of the 3rd inning, number 17, Rachel Howard. Ground ball quick to third base, but is snagged and recorded as the first out here in the top of the 3rd inning. Great catch off the ground ball from Weingard. Schleichler coming off the 2-run home run the last half inning as number 8 for the Quakers records a solo home run. Casey Sneed on a first pitch swing. Got all of that one as she hit a home run deep to right center field and records a solo home run here for the Quakers, making the score 5-4 here in the top of the 3rd. A lot of productive batting here on both sides today at Moyer Complex in Game 1. Up now for the Quakers, number 12, Maggie Schaefer. First pitch high outside the zone to Schaefer, as I'm sure she wants to try to deal as much damage as she can on the offensive side after having a 2-run home run hit off her by Schleichler in the last half inning. Second pitch outside for ball 2. 2-0 your count with no outs here in the top of the 3rd. Ball catches the outside of the plate for strike 1. On deck for the Quakers, number 22, Autumn Yoder, or number 20, excuse me. Count now at 3-1. Ball fouled down the first base line. It'll be strike 2 against Schaefer. Schaefer checks her swing, but couldn't get the bat out of the way in time as the ball is fouled off. Full count here against Schaefer. Ground ball to the shortstop for the Maroons as she throws to first, and the ball is dropped by Beer. A little bit of a wide throw from the shortstop of the Maroons. Stephanie Clark just couldn't get the ball to Beer in the fashion that she needed to get the out. It almost looked as if Beer caught the ball almost to where she had to take her foot off the bag and reach for the tag, and the ball fell out of her glove. So Schaefer is safe at first with no outs here at the top of the third as Autumn Yoder takes to the plate for the Quakers. We have a pinch runner for Schaefer now. Number 27 for the Quakers, Kate Fullerton. So Kate Fullerton at first base as Autumn Yoder is up at the plate for the Quakers. First pitch strike from Kelly Higbee. Pitch just catches the outside of the plate for strike 2. 0-2 your count against Yoder here in the top of the third. The runner goes to second as she is thrown out by Alexis Roop to record the first out of the inning. 1-2 your count now as that last pitch was a ball outside. And Higbee gets the strikeout for out number 3. So there were 2 outs there after that throw down at second base, and Higbee records her second strikeout on the day for out number 3 here in the top of the third. So after 2.5, scores at 5-4 after a solo home run hit by the Quakers in the last half inning. When we come back, the Maroons take to the plate to try to continue their offensive action. Stay with us. Back here at Moyer Complex as Stephanie Clark takes to the plate for the Maroons to lead off here in the bottom of the third inning. Score 5-4 if you're just joining us here. Schaefer still at the mound for the Quakers, as the first pitch from her is high outside the zone for ball one. Second pitch outside the zone for ball two. Clark coming off of a 2-run home run in the first inning, as she takes ball three and is dealt that pitch for ball four. She'll take her base at first. Up now for the Maroons, the catcher, Alexis Roop, who had a great throw down here in the bottom of the second to record the second out for the Maroons back in the bottom of the second. Roop 0 for 1 today. Roop shows bunt. Just catches the edge of the ball as it fouls back to the backstop for strike one. Second pitch fouled back to the backstop again for a quick 0-2 again. 0-2 count against Roop. Clark at first base for the Maroons with no outs here so far in the top of the third. Runner gets checked at first by the catcher, but gets back safely. Clark had to get back there pretty quick, as Alex Todd for the Quakers had a quick throw down there. Clark slid back to first base, as she now goes to second on the steal and makes it in, beats the tag. However, Roop does strike out in the process for out number one. Up now for the Maroons, number one, Caitlin Manuel. Playing second today for the Maroons. So Clark at second for the Maroons, as I thought she was going to get checked, but instead Todd decides to throw back to the pitcher. First pitch to Manuel is a ball. One and 1 year count now after that last pitch with one out and one on here in the bottom of the third inning. Maroons lead the Quakers 5-4. Ground ball to the first baseman and bounces off her glove, as Manuel will get the base hit as she is safe at first base. Sarah cut right at first today for the Quakers. Just couldn't come up with that ground ball for the Quakers and allows Manuel to get to first. Runners at the corners now for the Maroons, as number 8, Megan Weingarten's up for the Maroons with one out here in the bottom of the third. Runner goes to second. However, Todd checks Clark at third. So Manuel advances to second now. Runners at second and third for the Maroons with one out here, as Weingard is up with one ball against her, no strikes. Ball lined foul down the third base line, as the third base coach for the Maroons had to jump to get out of the way of that one, folks. Weingard had an extremely long at bat, her last at bat, and eventually got 4 balls and advanced to first base, which led to a 2-run home run from Rhea Schleichler, which put the Maroons up 5-3 as this ball's foul tipped back towards the press box. So 1-2 your count now against Weingard with runners at second and third. Ground ball to second as the second baseman thought about throwing home to prevent the run, but went ahead and went with the out at first. Good heads-up play by Cynthia Hayes for the Quakers to record the second out here against the Maroons. However, the Maroons did score 1 in the process with a 6-4 lead now.
Now stepping to the plate, the catcher, number 3, Casey Frick.
As Casey Frick is up to the plate for the Maroons. Correction here, folks, as Casey Frick is playing catcher for the Maroons, as Roop is the designated player in the lineup today. My apologies. As Frick is faced with a 1-1 count now with 2 outs here. Ball popped straight up as the catcher will record the third out here in the bottom of the third. So after 3, folks, score is 6-4 in favor of the Maroons when we come back to the top of the 4th inning as the Maroons take the field. Stay with us. Back here at Moyer Complex as Emily Van Hannigan leads off for the Quakers. Kelly Higby still at the plate for the Maroons after 3 good innings. Van Hannigan fouls this one out of play for strike 1. 1-1 the count now. Ground ball to the shortstop as Van Hannigan is thrown out at first base for the first out here in the top of the 4th inning.
Now batting play at second base, number 10, Cynthia Hayes.
At the plate now for the Quakers, Cynthia Hayes. As the first pitch is a strike, catches the outside of the plate. Pitch low outside the zone for ball 2. 2-2 your count now. Strike there against Hayes for a 2-2 count with 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Ball fouled back to the backstop. Hayes stays alive there at the plate. Hayes stays alive by fouling another one back to the backstop. Ball outside the zone. Full count now here against Hayes. Ground ball to second as she is retired at first. Good ground ball by Caitlin Manuel and throw to Aaliyah Beer at first to record the second out here for the Maroons. Up now to the plate, Allie Nicholson playing center field for the Quakers today. No on and 2 out for her. First pitch swing foul for strike 1. Higby deals. Catches the outside of the plate for strike 2. So a quick 0-2 count here against Nicholson in the top of the 4th inning as the Quakers trail 6-4. The ball made contact, foul down the third base line as Nicholson stays alive. Count still at 0-2. Ball hits solid to left center field as that gets into the gap as Rainey comes up with the ball and throws to third to prevent the triple from Nicholson as she records a stand-up double for the Quakers here. Number 11 now up at the plate for the Quakers, Sarah Cutright, with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Solid hit from Nicholson right there as she hit it deep, almost over the fence, but drops right before the fence, hitting the fence as Rainey had to come up with the ball, chasing it. Ground ball hit here to second base as the Maroons record the 3rd out of the inning. So after 3.5, no runs scored here. And when we come back, the Maroons take to the plate. Stay with us. back here at Moyer Complex as the Maroons lead off here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Number 7 up to the plate for the Maroons, Rhea Schleicher. Schleicher coming off a 2-run home run back in the bottom of the second inning, putting Maroons up at the time 5-3. However, the score now 6-4 in favor of the Maroons, as Schaefer deals from the mound for a strike, making the count 0-2 against Schleicher. Schleicher in the hole now, quickly with an 0-2 count against her. She makes contact, but the ball goes foul down the third base line. She stays alive here at this at bat. Ball high and inside as Schleicher gets the first ball against her for a 1-2 count here with no outs. Ball just outside the zone for a 2-2 count now. Schleicher battling back now to a full count against her. Coming from 0-2 down, back to a full count now as Schaefer gets her pitch and deals from the mound for ball 4. So great at bat by Schleicher, coming back from an 0-2 count to get on base for ball 4. Up to the plate now, leading off for the Maroons at the top of the lineup, number 6, Leona Rainey, playing center field today for the Maroons. First pitch from Rainey as she shows bunt but pulls back for ball 1. And Alex Todd checks Schleicher at first base, keeping her at home. No, excuse me. Rainey got called for the strike as she didn't pull back in time. Now as she bunts here to the pitcher on the sacrifice bunt, advances the runner to second base. Great sacrifice bunt there by Rainey, advancing Schleicher to second with Elia Beer up to the main plate for the Maroons, with one out here after that sacrifice bunt. First pitch strike to Beer. Line drive hit just above the second base player as Schleicher gets home for the Maroons and Beer takes 2. So line drive above the second baseman as it gets to the outfield, and the ball is thrown out of play or out of the reach of the third base player for the Quakers, advancing Schleicher home. 7-4 now in favor of your Maroons, as Holly Wortlander is up to the plate now to take her at bat, with Beer at second with one out. First pitch out of the zone for ball 1. Schaefer deals high outside of the zone for ball 2. Warlightner ahead of the count now, 2-0 as she pop flies to shallow center field and is caught out for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Up now for the Maroons, number 5, Stephanie Clark, playing shortstop today. Solid hit, foul. That ball was going forever, folks, as Clark got all of that one. However, just couldn't keep it in fair territory. Ball outside, high out of the zone for ball 1. 1-1 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. With the runner on second base. Beer at second as she's clutching both of her arms trying to stay warm out there. The wind is blowing hard, folks. Wild pitch. Catcher couldn't keep it as Beer advances to third base. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs now your count. As we begin to have snow flurries blow horizontally across the field. I'm sure you can't see it on the camera now, but it is, in fact, blowing snow. Ball high outside the zone for 3 balls now. 3-1 your count with 2 outs. As Clark will take ball 4 and advance to first. So runners at the corners now for the Maroons. Now the designated player up to the plate for the Maroons, Alexis Roop. As Alex Ty goes to the mound to consult Schaefer, try to retire this half inning for the Quakers. However, Roop at the plate now, trying to keep this offensive stand alive for the Maroons. First pitch high outside the zone for ball 1. Runner goes. However, Alex Ty cannot throw her down as Beer is at third base. 1-1 your count now against Roop. Clark at second and Beer at third as this ball is popped out of play for strike 1 against Roop. Or strike 2, however, against Roop now. 1-2 your count. As Roop is caught looking for strike 3, straining 2 players on base for the Maroons as the Quakers retire the inning. So after 4 innings, the score is now 7-4 in favor of your Maroons. And when we come back, the Maroons take the field for the top of the 5th inning as all of the players are jumping and stretching and trying to stay warm down on the field. When we come back, the top of the 5th inning, stay with us. Back here at Moore Complex, as the first pitch is wild into the backstop for ball one. Leading off for the Quakers, number 2, Brooks Bray. Second pitch outside for ball 2. Bray playing for the Quakers now in place of Brittany Donovan, who went out with a leg injury in the first inning, as she pops out to Warlightner in right field to record the first out here in the top of the 5th. At the plate now for the Quakers, Rachel Howard playing third today, as she has no runners on with 1 out. First pitch just outside the zone for ball 1. Ground ball to the shortstop for the Maroons as she throws down to first and retires Rachel Howard for out number 2 here in the top of the 5th inning. Go ground ball by Stephanie Clark to record the second out. Up now for the Quakers, number 8, Casey Sneed, as she watches strike 1 go by. Ball 2 in the dirt outside for 1-1 count now with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. 2-1 your count out after that last pitch. Sneed ahead in the count with 2 outs here. Pitch way outside for ball 3. Ball hit softly to the pitcher and is recorded for out 3 as Higbee comes up with the ball and feeds it to Beer to retire the side. After 4.5 innings, score is still the same at 7-4 as the Maroons come to take their at-bat here on the bottom of the 5th when we come back. Back here at Moyer Complex as we start the bottom of the 5th inning, leading off for the Maroons at the plate. Playing second today, Caitlin Manuel. Quakers struggling as of late here in Game 1 of this doubleheader evening, trailing 7-4 to the Maroons. as Manuel steps into the box to take the first at bat. First pitch foul to the backstop. As now you see Quakers players on the field in full sweaters. The first baseman and third baseman covered up in jackets, as all the players are trying to stay warm here as the wind is whipping and snow is blowing. Foul tip to the backstop again here from Manuel for a quick 0-2 count. Ball outside for 1-2 count now against Manuel. As Manuel gets caught swinging for strike number 3 and out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. As I believe now that is 5 strikeouts on the day for Schaefer. Scratch that, 4 strikeouts I believe for Schaefer now, as she recorded Roop's strikeout last inning looking. Up to the plate now for the Maroons. Number 8, Megan Weingard, playing third base today. Pop fly down the third baseline in foul territory, and no Quaker could come up with it, as Weingard stays safe there. As we do have a new pitcher for you folks. My apologies for not picking it up. Number 23, Morgan Myers, is at the mound now for the Quakers. Count now 2-1 to Weingard after that last pitch. Ball high outside the zone for a 3-1 count now. Inside for ball 4 as Weingard takes her base. Again, folks, Guilford and Maroons, this is the first ODAC play of the year for each team, so both here trying to get a quick start to the ODAC season and get a couple wins. Guilford coming into the day with a 9-1 overall record, where the Maroons have a 9-3 record and are ranked 16th in the last poll here for the NCAA. Number 3 for the Maroons up. Casey Frick shows bunt and gets called for strike 1. As Weingard gets checked at first base as well, but is safe. Pitch outside the zone for a 1-1 count now here with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Frick bunts foul for strike 2. As Meyer deals, Frick hits the ball softly right in front of the plate and gets by the catcher for a base hit. Catcher couldn't come up with the ball as she tries to barehand it and throw it to first base. The spin on the ball spun the wrong way, and she could not read it and pick it up. So now 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th with the runners at first and second for the Maroons, as number 7, Rhea Schleicher, coming to the plate. As we are going to have a pinch runner substitution for Casey Frick, as number 12, Kayla Dehart, coming to first base for the Maroons as the pinch runner. Sorry, Dehart is moved to second base as Frick stays at first. So Dehart pinch running at second now and Frick staying at first with Rhea Schleicher at the plate with 1 out. First pitch ball to Schleicher. So with that pinch runner at second, you got to think the Maroons have something up their sleeve here with only 1 out in the bottom of the 5th, as that is a ball as well for a 2-0 count here to Schleicher. Ball inside for 3-0 count now. Schleicher way ahead. Can take a few pitches if she needs to. Pick the pitch she wants. Dehart at second base as Frick's at first for the Maroons. And Myers records her first strike against Schleicher for a 3-1 count. Schleicher swings on an inside pitch chasing. Gets called for the strike as it gets by her. Full count now here for Schleicher. As she takes ball 4, and the Quakers have loaded the bases now with here only 1 out in the bottom of the 5th, with Leona Rainey up to the plate for the Maroons. Coach Mike Mitchell coming to the home plate official to make more substitutions here, I would believe, as Alex Dye goes to the mound and talks with Myers. As Frick now comes off of second base, and number 9, Katie Romano, is now pinch running for Frick at second.
Now right at second base. Runner foul is 9. Katie Romano. This is 9, right? Katie.
Rainey at the plate for the Maroons with bases loaded as she takes the first pitch, which is a ball, I believe, for a 1-0 count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As the sun is setting to the right field side of the field today for the Maroons. Ball 2 here against Rainey. Two and 0 your count now. All 3 runners for the Maroons ready to run if they have to. As Rainey calls time, gets reset here at the plate. Ball outside for a 3-0 count now. Myers in jeopardy here with a 3-0 count with bases loaded. Got a pitch down the middle here, or potentially walk a run in. As she does and records strike one. Rainey showed bunt and pulled back. Three and 1 your count now as Meyer deals. Rainey checks her swing, and she gets checked at the umpire in the infield and is called safe as she advances to first for ball 4, bringing in another Maroon runner to score. Score now 8-4 here in game 1 in favor of your Maroons. Up to the plate now, Aaliyah Beer. Base is still loaded here with 1 out. First pitch low for ball 1 as the Quakers are struggling a little bit here in the bottom of the 5th inning, trying to retire the side. Bases loaded here with 1 out. Ball outside the zone here for 2-0. As Alex Todd calls time to come try to calm her pitcher down. Katie Romano at third for the Maroons, as Rainey is at first. And we have another base runner for the Maroons at second base. As ball catches the outside of the plate for strike 1 here against Beer. Schleicher at second for the Maroons. Sorry for that delay. 2-1 your count with 1 out. Bases loaded here for Beer as she gets caught swinging for strike 2. Myers deals. High. Out of the zone. Full count now for Beer here with 1 out. And Beer gets caught swinging for a strikeout here and 2 outs. Up now to the plate, playing right field today for the Maroons, Holly Warleitner. Trying to keep this offensive stand alive for the Maroons here with bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch outside the zone for ball 1. Pitch got a little away from Meyer there as it was way outside for ball 2. 2-0 your count here with 2 outs. Warleitner pops to the second baseman as she catches the pop flyer and retires the inning. So the Maroons leave 3 on and score 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning with a score of 8-4 in favor of the Maroons when we come back to the top of the 6th inning as the Quakers take to the plate. Stay with us.
Megan Weingard, behind the plate.
Back here at Moyer Complex as the Maroons take to the field, leaving all of their defensive players in, even though they had pinch runners last inning. Leading off for the Quakers, the pitcher now, Morgan Myers. Kelly Higbee still at the mound for the Maroons. First pitch, strike. Ground ball hit straight back to Higbee as she throws to Beard at first to record out number 1. So 2 pitches for the first batter here in the top of the 6th inning, making quick work so far as Higbee has found her stride in game 1 of this 2-game series tonight here at Moyer Complex. As the first pitch there is a ball outside the zone to number 20, Autumn Yoder. Higbee catches the outside of the plate for strike 1 here. 1-1 the count to Yoder. Ball in the dirt. 2-1 your count. Ball hit to the shortstop as she throws to Beer at first. Amory records out number 2. Stephanie Clark with a good ground ball there and throw to Beer.
Now batting. Left fielder number 6, Emily Van Hannigan.
Van Hannigan up at the plate as she has a first pitch line drive to Weingard, who catches the ball and retires a half inning. So after 5.5, score stays the same at 8-4 as when we come back. The Maroons take to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Back here at Moyer Complex as the shortstop for the Maroons, number 5, Stephanie Clark, leads off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Myers at the mound still for the Quakers, as she gets Clark swinging here for strike number 1. Second pitch low and outside for ball 1. Clark swings On an inside pitch from Myers for strike two. 1-2 your count now. Only times the Maroons have trailed today has been in the first inning when the Quakers put up 3 early in the top of the first. Otherwise, it has been all Maroons all day long as they lead 8-4 up to the plate now for the Maroons, the designated player, Alexis Roop, as Clark strikes out at her last at-bat, leaving 1 out here for the Maroons. First pitch to Roop outside the zone for ball 1. Two and 0 your count now as that pitch was way inside off the plate for another ball. As Roop gets all of that one in it, solid rope to left center field for a solo home run, putting the Maroons up 9-4 now on the Quakers. Roop saw that pitch and had every little bit of it as she hit that one about 50 to 75 feet past the fence here at Moyer Complex.
Now stepping to the plate, second baseman number 1, Caitlin Manuel.
At the plate now for the Maroons, playing second base today, Caitlin Manuel. Facing 1 out and no runners on after that solo home run from Roop. See if Manuel can keep this offensive drive going for the Maroons here in the bottom of the 6th inning. As Manuel watches strike 1 go by. Manuel pop flies to the shortstop as it trails off to her. Yoder coming up with the pop fly out for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting first baseman number 8, Megan Weingard.
As Megan Weingart's up to the plate for the Maroons after having a great line drive catch to retire the Quakers in the top half of the 6th. She is at the plate now here facing 2 outs and no runners on. First pitch low and in the dirt for ball 1. As Weingart line drives to the pitcher for out number 3. So after 6 innings, Maroons up 9-4 on the Guilford Quakers. When we come back, the top of the 7th inning as the Maroons try to close game 1 out here in game 1 of game 2 doubleheader against Guilford Quakers. Stay with us. Back here at Moyer Complex for the top of the 7th inning, the last inning here in Game 1, as number 10 for the Quakers, Cynthia Hayes, leads off for the Quakers here against Higbee, who has had a great first game today for the Maroons. First pitch and shot for ball 1. Ground ball hit to Stephanie Clark as she couldn't get to it, and she comes up with a little bit of a limp there as Hayes records a base hit off of the second pitch from Higbee.
Now batting center fielder number 4, Allie Nicholson.
Up now for the Quakers, number 4, Allie Nicholson. As the runner goes towards second, makes it in as Casey Freak couldn't beat the runner there. Hayes advances to second with no outs here and is in scoring position as Allie Nicholson is at the plate. Nicholson fouls one off here for strike 2. Count now at 1-2. Ball high out of the zone for a 2-2 count here in the top of the 7th. Runner on second. No outs. Ball fouled away down the third base line. Ball grounded to Weingart as she throws her out at first, and then Beer throws back to third to try to get Hayes, but Hayes just beats the throw down as she advances to third base. Maroons wanted an out there as they thought they had beat her to the bag, but the umpire saw it a little better and called her safe. He was right there on top of the play. First pitch swing too shallow left field as Stephanie Clark comes up with the pop fly out to record the second out here against the Quakers late in Game 1. Top of the 7th inning here. Now batting for the Quakers, number 8, Casey Sneed. As with 2 outs here, she's trying to keep the Quakers alive as she hits one on the first pitch straight back to Clark, and Clark comes down with the pop fly to end Game 1. So after 6.5, the Maroons end Game 1, 9-4 to win Game 1 of Game 2 games here at Moyer Complex. Coming up after the break, Game 2 action as we will be starting here in about 20-25 minutes, folks. Stay with us.